How many murders does it take to call you a murderer? Better yet, how many times do you have to steal for you to be called a thief? See, the same thing applies when it comes to certain inappropriate behaviors with minors. How many interactions of that nature do you need to commit before being called a pedophile? Well, we may not want to apply that title to some people. It applies. One of those people, whether we like it or not, is Mary J. Blige. Now, what we're going to talk about has been divulged by another individual who said, and this is according to him, that Mary J. Blige had flew him out to New York on quite a few occasions to have relations with him, and he was somewhere in the region between 15 and 17 years old.
She's sitting on the couch and shit. I'm like, you ain't got to worry about him. It's you straight. I'm 15, 16 years old. And she laying on the couch. And I'm sitting on the other end, and she laid down on the couch and put her head in my lap. We decided to go in the other room because it was a suite. We went in the other room and laid down. And she laid down with me, and she kind of like backed up against me. And every time she backed up against me, I would move away and shit, At that time, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in to see her. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you, you young and shit. I'm trying to show her that she ain't phasing me. I don't even know if you're supposed to say you had sex with people on camera. Anyway, whatever. I'm not quite sure, but
Relations.
yeah, we had relations. That's a good way.
Now, whether you think that 15, 16, or 17 for a male is old enough to be okay, that doesn't negate the fact that he is not old enough to be okay. Because had it happened to a female, everybody would be up in arms. But because it was a female towards a man, that's okay. It's a badge of honor for him. He shouldn't talk about it. He shouldn't complain. And if he does complain, he's what? Gay. You see, people don't want to admit one very important thing, that when no is said, no it is. When people are uncomfortable with something, they're uncomfortable with something, male or female. Apparently, Mary J. Blige didn't get that memo to the point where she was talking about this individual, though he was her boyfriend, while at the same time espousing that so was Tupac. Now, if you remember Mary, most people know her today as the queen of R&B, and she's so good and blah, 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 nothing bad on her. But don't forget, she was in that video with Biggie. You remember the one we talked about where there was a person, an it, that seemed to be in the male's bathroom while dressed like a female? Yeah, she was in that video, by the way. You might want to go double check and see that to make sure for yourself. But yes, she was in there. So what exactly are we supposed to make of this guy's testimony? Is he telling the truth? Is he trying to get clout? And if he is trying to get clout, why now? And why would he have such details of things, especially with the kinds of information he's bringing forward about Mary? Now, this is what he said. At least on the first occasion when she flew him out, they were sitting in the living room, and I guess there were other people there too. And she was getting a little cuddly, and they decided to go to a separate room. And then that's where things start to get a little bit more steamed. She started to push back on him. He tried to shy away because he didn't want. And this is what the comment section would say all about him being not straight. Now, if the kid is saying no, that would make the person not listening the predator. Whether she's male, whether he's female, you know what I mean by that, right? Going back to the Biggie video, you get what I mean? I'm trying to make their own language my own. You can call yourself whatever you want, but at the end of the day, we know what you are. So, Mary, you can act like you hadn't done anything, but you did. Now, this situation goes a ways back. We understand that. But is it less relevant today because it's a ways back? No. Because if it happened then, it's probably happening now. More than likely happening now. Heck, it happened as recent as Justin Bieber. But no one wants to talk about that. Now, the problem here is this. If he is correct, what, if anything, can be done to Mary J? Nothing. She was in her 20s, 21, between 21, 22, 23, somewhere in there. Either way, out of what we would consider being a child. He was well within it, at least 6 years behind her. 6 years. Now, on a different day, that gap when she's 30, might not matter so much. But when he's under that threshold, it matters significantly. Now let's talk about his parents for a minute. Why would you let your son fly? And look, I understand the allure of fame. I understand. I understand that, hey, Mary J. Blige is flying my son out there. He must feel important. I'm going to let it happen. Now, the problem is that you have no idea what's taking place when your son leaves the home. And you should be more concerned about that, because it may not just be Mary that he's going to see while he's out there. A concerned parent would be like, I'll just go with you, and wherever you go, I'll go. You're a minor after all. That didn't take place. The backlash he must have faced was pretty severe, especially if you come forward and say, I didn't really want to, and I was not in the mood, and I didn't feel comfortable. The ridicule. Look, I grew up in the 80s. Apparently, he was born the same year that I was born. So I know the grilling that can happen with situation like that. I grew up in an era where you had in school, if you had a fairly attractive female teacher, the going talk was, oh man, I could do this and this and this and that and that and this, and if she only approached me, I would and I would and I would. Trust me, I know the conversations, much less a celebrity. I can fully understand the ridicule that was come his way if he were to say, I'm not doing that, because you couldn't have that moral compass as a male. Now, heaven forbid, the tables flipped and all of a sudden now it's a male teacher, and the male teacher would approach the female student, or the male artist approach the female. Issues all of a sudden, predator. Female does it, no problem. Especially to the kind of person that Mary J was. Now, we all know she was an R&B icon. All over the place, everybody knew Mary. She had some of the top songs you could think of. Heck, she was out there around the same time and before Whitney was. She was a pioneer in the field. So I can understand why people don't want to throw her under the bus. But under the bus, she must go. I asked at the onset of this video, how many events would it take messing with a minor for you to be chimed in as a pedophile? In our book, once. The instant you can do it once, you already have the propensity for it, and we can already brand you as such. This individual said this went on for a long time, years. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, he was 16. Heck, let's give him 17. It went on for a full year. That's a full year of pedophilic behavior by Mary J. Blige. No consequence. Let's put him back to 16. That's 2 years worth of pedophilic behavior by Mary J. Blige. No consequence. In fact, she's gotten Grammys and awards out the wazoo and is all over billboards everywhere, and everybody knows about her. Magazine covers. She's everywhere. All lauding and praising this woman after having done what she did. I don't know what Danny's seeking. I have no idea if he's trying to seek recompense, if he's trying to get revenge, sully her name because now he can. I don't know. Statutes of limitations, I don't know how that applies to men, because you know how that goes, especially with... So if it is something he's looking for, he may not ever get it. In fact, what he might get is the complete opposite. He might be ostracized for this. How dare you try to sully this good woman's name? Why wait till now? What kind of man are you? You must not be a man at all. You might be gay. What man would turn down somebody like Mary J. Blige? I even read one of these comments. This guy said, I would have taken that to my grave. I don't know what that makes you, but I would say you're probably a damaged individual. If you're assuming everybody is like you. Because I know when I was going through this mentally, I was not in the best location. I was addicted to many things that really skewed my vision of what love was supposed to be. And I have no doubt that many people in the comment section that think like that are exactly in that position. They've been skewed. To think that that kind of advancing from a woman, popular woman, towards a kid, male, is okay, not just okay, should be welcomed. We're here to tell you that whether the individual that is underage is male or female, it is illegal. There are no caveats to your gender when it comes to sexual abuse of a minor. Mary J. Blige is a pedophile. She ruled in circles that were all pedophiles themselves. It almost seems as though the entire industry has that as your waypoint in order to get into the industry to the top levels. And if you don't participate, you don't get up. I feel for the kid, I do, because imagine having this mindset that you don't want to do something. But at the same time, a person of way high caliber, money, influence is approaching you like this, and your parents don't seem to mind. Your friends all tell you you'd be stupid if you didn't do it. But your compass is telling you no. and you know full well that there's no backing out now, what do you do then? Suck it up. There's no avenue for you. You're a man now. That's what they'll tell you. And when you refuse, I guess you're not. It's ridicule and shame to keep you in this position of victim. And I do hope for Danny's sake that he can break free of that regardless of the blowback he gets and sticks to his guns. Because at the end of the day, we need to know all of these people who have been guilty of this particular behavior. So Mary, let me talk to you real quick before I escape here. I want you to be fully aware of something. You did a song one time called No More Drama. I can only assume that you didn't want this coming to the surface. Was guess what? You got some more drama. And you had a whole lot that you didn't want to talk about. I get why you want to run from it. But you only got 2 feet, and there are 500 coming after you. I hope one day that 2 things happen. You actually admit to what you did and apologize to the man, or at the least, face the consequences of what you did.